do a little S-turning here to help aid, because from back here my visibility is good. And it's becoming a ingrained habit from the biplanes.
Yeah, it's actually from the front seat, visibility over the nose is, especially given the little cowl humps and whatnot, it's actually quite good.
Very good visibility.
And I'm not particularly tall, so a tall guy would see over the nose very easily. This little Skyhaven Airport here in Warrensburg, pretty nice facility. They've obviously spent some money on ramp and hangars and all that.
Very nice facility, very nice people to work with, giving us good treatment. The university program seems to be healthy. The dean of the aviation program, Tony Minetti, seems to be very excited and is looking to add light sport aircraft to their lineup.
Beautiful.
Which would be very, very exciting.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting when somebody like comes out of that background and shows an interest in the newest aspect of aviation, that light sport.
Absolutely.
Pretty neat. Obviously, you got a free breaking away tail wheel there that allows very tight ramp maneuvering, it feels like.
Okay, instruments are good. Gas is on, we have sufficient.
Yeah, oil temp is now 63, I see.
So, I'm gonna let that warm up just a little more here.
Yeah, we're flying with this 180 horse engine now. While we're waiting on that to warm up a little bit, why don't you tell me just a bit about how you normally behave with the engine and this kind of a warm up, and then when you climb out, you can use obviously full power right away, but you're not to use full power all the time, is that correct?
That's correct. We're limited to max continuous horsepower for 5 minutes.
5 minutes, okay.
And with this 180 horse, this engine actually has been dynoed, produces over a little 180 horse from what I understand.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's possible, but with the 180 horse, we definitely want to be pulling back to the 80 horsepower and stay within the light sport limitation.
And so what kind of, what number are we waiting for, by the way? What's a good number to see that oil temp get
I
to?
wouldn't mind seeing the oil temp up to 70 before I do my run-up.
Okay.
I am running multi-viscosity oil in here.
Skyhaven traffic 472 Charlie Mike, crossing midfield 2200. Departing to the west, we'll re-enter the pattern. Skyhaven traffic.
I suspect our oil temperatures today probably will not exceed 145 degrees.
Okay.
Maybe 150. It's so cool out, and I do have the ground adjustable cowl flaps opened up, anticipating warmer temperatures. Boy, was I wrong.
Oh, I see. And those are, yeah, as you just said, ground adjustable, so you don't have an inside control. You do that based on what you think the weather conditions are going to be for the day.
Yes.
Okay.
And for the majority of the year, you can run the cowl flaps in the intermediate position, and it covers most temperature ranges until it gets really cold. Okay. The engine's equipped with dual electronic ignition, so we're not doing a magneto check per se. We're checking our ignition.
Okay.
Once you go ahead and cycle the key, check our left and right. You'll have an indicator light under the voltage light that'll show.
Under the voltage light. Okay, I got that. All right, going to left first.
Yep.
2 switches over to left.
Okay.
Although the right light came on, so back to both.
Downwind 36, Skyhaven.
And back to the right switch, and now the left light comes on.
Correct.
Okay.
Both. And carburetor heat on the far left.
Carburetor heat on the far, whoops.
Not mixture, here
Not
you
the
go.
red one, not the white one. Carb heat is on.
And there's a slight drop. There we go, barely audible.
Oh yeah, okay, there was a little showing here on the digital RPM.
The dual electronic ignition is so efficient at compensating for changes by advancing retarding. You very rarely note changes. I mean, when you switch cycle between left and right, it automatically compensates for losing half the combustion.
Oh, I see. Okay, that's why we didn't really see much then when I did it.
It automatically adjusts for that.
Okay, so that's why you kind of have to have this voltmeter ignition lighting system to sort of tell you what you're actually doing.
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
And to indicate a failure.
I see. Okay.
Good.
Roomy cockpit, kind of more than I remember. I'm not a particularly big guy, but I've got quite a bit of elbow room and a lot to the sides, and all nicely finished in here. I really love the carbon fiber look, of course.
Traffic 47.
Okay, while we're waiting on a short final here, I'm Dan Johnson. We're recording here at the Warrensburg Airport. It's Skyhaven Airport, it's called. And flying with me is Ben Redmond, who is the proprietor of, let me have the name of the company again.
General Manager for Rare Aircraft Limited.
Rare Aircraft Limited, and we'll talk a little bit more about what Ben does with his brother and the business that his father initially started about 20-some years ago, it sounds like. But basically, it's restoring vintage aircraft, as I understand.
That is correct.
Very cool, and you've got to do a lot of work with magazines and showing off some of those beautiful airplanes, I hear.
Yes, we've had a great opportunity to get some good exposure over the years.
Very cool. And now you're engaged with CubCrafters, one of the early dealer sign-ups, and that's what we're getting ready to go up in here, is the Carbon Cub Super Sport.
Let's do it. Let's take the world's most exciting Cub-type airplane out and have a blast.
Alrighty, I'm excited about this. I've watched it go up from the ground. Now I'm going to get to actually do it, so there's my smile. Here we go.
Skyhaven traffic, Carbon Cub 7 Romeo Alpha is departing runway 36. All right, Dan, you ready to have some fun?
Okay, hands on the stick gently with you. You got the airplane. Let's go have some fun.
Let's do it, buddy.
All right.
And it's going to be flying before we're ready.
Yeah! We're off the ground already. Let's see, that was probably like, I don't know. And going up like a house, homesick age. I see we're showing 2,400 RPM out. And all the stuff on the ground is getting smaller rather quickly.
There's 1,000 feet right there, Dan.
So there was 1,000 feet in just that amount of time. You know, we can clock that back on the video. It wasn't very long, that's for sure. And now I see we backed off from about 2,400 to 2,100. And that gets us back into that acceptable range for operation.
Skyhaven traffic, Carbon Cub 7 Romeo Alpha is turning crosswind for 3 seconds.
Actually a pretty nice day here. Looks kind of gloomy from the ground, but it looks like kind of a pretty countryside around Warrensburg, Missouri. So we're not too miserable in Missouri today, just a little cold on the ground, but nice and comfortable here in the Cub. Must be feeling a little heat coming through the system.
Why don't you go ahead and pull the blue knob on the right of the panel there and give us some cabin heat.
Blue knob on the right of the panel? Yeah, we got some cabin heat coming in. Oh, I felt it right away, too. And looking down, we're on downwind now, looking back at the runway. That is...
Okay, would you please pull on the carburetor heat?
Carburetor heat coming on, full hot.
You got it. Just for fun, we're going to use some flaps today with that nice headwind down the runway. Why don't you go ahead and pull on the first notch of flaps for me, Dan?
Okay, flaps.
Pull the trigger and...
pull the trigger. D10.
Yep.
D10 is up. Back to 1 notch. You can feel it, hear it, and sense it right away. So, flap handle's over here to the left. I suppose that's shown on the camera. Let me get close here and look. Not quite, but just slightly out of camera range. Over on the left cowl on the what's sometimes called the A-pillar. Very easy to reach, but only accessible for the person in the front. So clearly you solo from the front. Oh, I'm wrong. You can easily reach it from the back. The long arm of Ben reaching forward from the aft seat. No problem at all to reach from the aft seat. I stand corrected, thankfully.
Well, once the first notch was put in for me, I was able to reach it.
Well, okay, that would have been kind of a long grip to get the forward one. So you only cheated a little bit, but we'll accept that. So we got full flaps down now, which is how many?
Let's just go to 2.
Okay.
Would you please roll in a little nose down trim for me? Just
a little nose down trim, and I didn't see where that was. Oh, I got it right on the top.
Got electric trim. Just push the switch forward.
Okay, I'm pushing it. Tell me when I got enough.
That's good.
Okay. I was looking for a wheel if I already forgot where it was. Okay, I'm with you on the controls, but you got the airplane. I'm going to slide to the side here a little bit and let you have even a better view.
No need.
He's got it down.
Oh, we'll carry a little power here since it's such a good headwind today.
Yeah, wind's right down the runway, looking at the windsock. And we're coming in at 60 miles an hour right now. We're not over the numbers yet, but we're getting close to it. It feels like we're just floating in. Of course, we've got a pretty good headwind, so my guess is our forward speed is fairly slow. We're going to come in right short on the numbers here, it looks like. Then got her down real good here. Feels like we're just crawling through the air. Coming back on the nose. Beautiful. Very nice.
Okay, let's eliminate the flaps.
Flaps are coming up.
Carburetor heat off.
Carburetor heat's going off.
You have the airplane, Dan.
All right, I've got the airplane now.
Okay, go ahead and make a smooth application of power all the way to wide open.
Smooth application all the way to wide open. Well, that was pretty easy.
Don't be shy.
I wanted to climb fast enough here. This airplane likes to go up, doesn't it? Coming back here to 60. Oh, that's what you... Everything's getting smaller again.
What'd you think of that?
Well, you know, it's when the power first comes up, it's almost a little intimidating because there's so much action right off the bat. But it actually was more docile than I even expected it to be. Docile in the sense of being able to control that power. Airplane's got a lot of control feel. The rudder pedals were instantly responsive with all that blast going by the... I'm going to go ahead and turn left on upwind here. And I suppose we can kind of go out here pretty much anywhere and wander around for...
As long as we go west and stay away from Whiteman Air Force Base.
Okay, Wyman's behind us.
Yep, they don't want us, let's not go look at the B-2s today.
Yeah, B-2s or running any UASs, I guess they got over there too. So we're on crosswind now. We'll do the standard 45-degree departure here to kind of signal our compatriots in the air if there are any. So I'm at 2060 now. That's just kind of a number I went to. Got a preference for where I ought to be?
Oh, that's great. You can operate this anywhere. You know,
Okay.
If I want to fly around on a nice summer day and pretend I'm a J3 Cub,
Yeah.
I'll pull it all the way back to 1700, 1600, be doing 65, and burning a couple gallons an hour and open up the door and windows and enjoy life.
Is that right?
Absolutely. If we want to cruise around a little better right now, we can go ahead and push it up to 2200 or 23.
I want to come back first and try the slow speed stuff.
Let's do it.
It's the old ultralight guy in me, you know?
Absolutely. Use your trim.
I'm kind of bumping the trim. Is that a technique that works,
Yeah,
or?
just hold it until you feel the pressure's where you want it.
Okay. Oh, okay. It's not as, some of them are so quick that you press and hold that long, you get more action than you want. This is a little more controllable than that. Ah, beautiful. Here we are in sort of Cub land. We're at 1590 indicated RPM, and I'm at 60, and altitude looks like it's holding. So that's a pretty tolerable number. And we're not going to open the door today because we're both chicken and don't want to freeze to death, but you could open. Can you open both windows?
Actually, they one or the other.
One or the other, okay. But you can, but either one then. Okay,
Yeah,
so that's
both,
cool.
Both do open, but in flight, the manual calls out flying with one or the other open. I prefer just to open the window and door both.
Oh, okay. Well, that gets you a lot of air through here, and if it was one of those 80-degree days, I'd be real tempted to do that, but I think today we'll just let it go at this. So I'm going to come back up on the power a little bit now, watch my trim a little bit. See if I can keep the altitude roughly consistent. I'll come back up to 21 or so. And where did you say for cruise?
Today, let's do 2150.
2150 we'll come up to. I'm adjusting the trim a little bit. Very convenient right on the top of the joystick there. And the trim is quite a nice control that doesn't kind of surprise you, as I mentioned a moment ago, so that's cool. Okay, 2150, or pretty darn close to it anyway. Adjusting the trim just a little bit here, trying to hold altitude now.
We're still climbing 500 feet a minute.
Oh yeah, we sure are. Okay, so I got to push the nose down there. A little different sight view then when you got it. I'm still climbing actually.
Wonderful visibility over the nose.
Yeah, wow. And up and to the sides. I'm roughly average height, but I feel like I'm about 4 or 5 inches under the wing, so I've got broad visibility out every direction. I finally got the altitude up a little high on the RPM now, though. Let's come back just a scooch here. When I lower the nose, we got a little more rev out of the engine. There we go. Now we're right down the right range. And so we are now seeing, well, it's a little shy of 100.
Yep, we're back at 22.
Yeah, right. Yep, I overshot a little bit the other way now. Let's come back up a scooch. I'm using highly technical terms there, you know, scooch. Okay, now I think I got it. Well, now it's just a tad over, but... And now I'm climbing just a little bit again, so we'll kind of control that and see what we get. Engine vibration is very low. Of course, when you first apply all that power on the runway, you're kind of, whoa, there's a lot. But vibration, it doesn't feel like it's really one of them. I'm not... Up, climbing a little bit again. So that pushes us up somewhere around 100 miles an hour, looks like, if I manage to hold the numbers correctly. 2160 RPM now. Climb is a hair below level, but pretty close to level. And we're seeing just a little bit shy of 100 miles an hour.
All right, why don't you try a couple of turns?
Okay, let's come around to the left here, looking out to see if we see anybody out there.
All clear.
Looks clear to me. Coming around to the left, gentle turn to begin with. I'm going to head, pick up a straight south heading and then do my little Dutch roll bit. For me, that's usually a pretty good mechanism to sense how the airplane controls. Not that I'll do them so brilliantly well, but I'll learn a lot from it. Very comfortable airplane to fly, though. Responsiveness is just about what you'd expect. Not too fast, not too slow. Kind of that Goldilocks thing, I guess. Okay, looks like we got the sky to ourselves here. No B-2s, no UASs, and no 172s that I can see. Runners are I'm not saying they're too sensitive, but they're more sensitive than I expected. You think of a Cub and you kind of think of an airplane with in fact, I guess the secret is almost to hardly use any rudder. Well, I'm not keeping the ball very centered, but let's try this again. I'll get settled up here. A little better on my ball control now. That's pretty easy. The stick pressures are a little higher than the rudder pressures, it feels like to me. Would you agree with that, Ben?
Yeah, stick pressure is slightly higher.
Yeah, not a lot. It's not much disharmony, but a little bit there. Of course, some of that is moment arm of where my arm... that would depend a little bit on your body size and your arm strength and things like that, but general maneuverability, man, very nice control response. It's pretty instant. Doing a 90-degree turn here of about, I don't know, 30 degrees bank or so. Roll-out pressures are very similar to roll-in pressures. on a little more of a steep turn. Well, it takes very little, it takes a little extra power to go into a steep turn, but it sure doesn't take much. You can kind of feel this engine working right away. As soon as I added a little bit too much power, we started climbing right away. Doesn't take much. Watching the world spin underneath us a little bit. Okay, out of one and roll into the other.
Excellent. On a northbound heading, why don't you climb us up to 3,000 feet, Dan?
Roger that. Okay, rolling out. Rolling out. How about an eastbound heading? Let's go back to the north heading.
Sure.
And I see we got a couple airplanes up and above us here. Let's go on up a little bit. We'll keep an eye on them. They're right ahead of us now. Kind of look like some of your boys there.
Couple of Wacos.
That's what I thought.
Okay, let's level off here at 3,000.
Boy, it doesn't take anything to get back up, does it?
Nope.
Very
All right,
neat.
let's slow it down. Keep
All right.
pulling the throttle back. I've got the airplane for a moment, Dan.
All right, you've got the airplane.
Why don't you give me some carburetor heat, please?
Thought you might want a little bit.
A little rich.
Yep.
And one notch of flaps, please.
And one notch of flaps coming down. There we
Okay.
go. Secured.
And second notch, please.
And the second notch.
Now, keeping the nose right about here on the horizon, I'm just going to pull back the throttle ever so slightly, just all the way to idle. And I'm going to start holding the stick back, and there's an audible stall horn, which will come on.
Okay.
Just hold this stick back, hold it back. What are we indicating?
Well, under 30, something under 30.
There's a stall brake, just
Okay.
relax the stick. I'm just going to do another nice one, a little lower. See if I can get us just to kind of live in the stall here.
Indication is about 35 miles an hour right now. Dropping more. Down to the very bottom of the white arc. Up, it's getting a little sloppy there, just about what the white arc suggests. I see 30 now, maybe a scooch under. Technical term again, 29, 28, something like that.
Sticks all the way on the stop.
And there's the audible.
stall.
I would say that was maybe 27.
Okay, now, if we leave a touch of power in for this,
And we're talking just a touch here, a couple hundred RPM is all you got more.
I'm going to leave it in there. Now watch the indicated airspeed.
Okay, airspeed is now 25 miles an hour.
Showing 26 maybe.
And this is very little bit of power. I saw a little bit below 25,
5 there.
24 maybe. That's really slow.
All right, Dan, you have the airplane. Go ahead and explore the stall.
I've got the airplane back again, and let's just checking out to the side, see if we got anybody up here with us again. I think our Waco buddies continued west, but let's go make sure. Well, it continued out of my range of sight anyway, so we'll come back here. By the way, making some gentle maneuvering here with flaps down and 50 miles an hour speed. And I've not adjusted the trim, but that's okay. Okay, power's coming back now. Guys to ourselves. Okay, pitch pressures went away from the stick as the power came back. Power's back to idle thrust, or pretty close. And stick is coming back gently. Just a little above the horizon. About 30 miles an hour showing. There's the audible. No power addition at all. Speed comes back up easily, audible's still on. Feels like we're about stopped in the sky. We're going so slow though. Let's come back with the power again a little bit. I'm going to go a little more aggressive on the stall. Stick is full aft. There's the brake.
Wonderful. All right.
Very tolerable. All right, coming back up with the power a little bit. We'll ease off the flaps. Back to 1 notch. A little more power. Flaps coming up all the way. Carburetor heat. Now I'll come up a little more power first. Carburetor heat going back off. All right, should we go back and see if I can land it?
Let's do it.
All right. Off to our right, I see the airport. Checking for any traffic first. I don't see any. No B-2s, no UAVs, no 172s. I can see Kansas City off there in the distance, though, I see. So it's not quite as gloomy looking as it was earlier today, maybe. Who knows? Maybe we'll get lucky with some weather tomorrow.
Skyhaven traffic, Carbon Cub 1907. Romeo Alpha's on a 45, the entering a left downwind for 36. Okay, pattern altitude 1,700 feet.
All right, come back under power just a scooch. Okay, coming in a little trim here. There we go. Oops, overshot a bit. Okay, we're at 1900, so we're still descending into pattern altitude. I'll come back a little further on the power.
All right, we're clear of our obstruction. We can turn base anytime.
All right, turning base.
I'll let you apply flaps, trim and whatnot as you see fit.
I'll come in with a notch now just to begin my trimming.
Okay.
And my approach speed about 60.
Yeah,
Okay.
that'll give you a nice buffer until we get down
Okay.
in it.
I'm carrying a little power because I actually got a little low out here. I felt like I'm one of those guys that like high approaches, I guess.
That's okay.
I never saw the merit in coming into those low
Dragging it in. Not
jet
good.
jockey approaches or whatever they might be, but I always figure, well, you know, if you lose the engine here, you'd be really dumb to land short. Of course, you do what you have to if you lose the engine, but anyway, now it looks a lot more certain to me, so I'm going to come back on the power a little further. I'm going to come in with 1 more notch. Is that what you recommend?
Your choice. You can land with
You know
one
what?
notch.
I'm going to go with just that one.
Yeah, it'll work great. It'll work great.
Coming back on my power a little bit. Speed is still looking good. Keeping her lined up. Remember to be happy feet. Landing the tail dragger. And slowing a little bit as we come over the numbers here. It won't make quite as neat a landing as Ben did, but let's see what we can do here. Coming back on the power some more. Gentle nose up. A little more. Well, not too bad for a rookie.
Nice one, Dan.
All right, we'll go for the benefit of the camera here. Since I see him right out here. Flaps coming up. Made one mistake though, forgot to put the carb heat on. You got to make at least one mistake though, otherwise nobody got anything to say anything about.
That's right.
And I guess, should we go to the ramp or turn here?
Yeah, let's go to the ramp. Let's go back down to our parking spot there, down that area. That's kind of what
All
they
right.
want us to do.
Well, this is an easy lander.
Yeah.
And takeoff is just, that's just that's an invigorating thing, boy.
It's very addictive. Get spoiled by the power quickly.
And so now I'm doing the taxi in, and piece of cake to see over the nose. I gotta raise my head just a little bit to actually see full ahead of me. But anybody of standard height, unless you were really short, seeing over the nose from the front seat is just no big deal at all. So I don't really need to fishtail back and forth because I got the center line of the taxiway right in sight. Okay, he's giving us some direction here, so we'll follow him right in. Okay, so I've got strobe off, avionics going off.
Yep, and then just shut it off with the key.
Okay, the key off.
And master
And then
off.
master is off. All right.